Welcome to the May gathering, the annual gathering of the Krishnamurti Foundation. Before we start with presentations and talks and other things, we would like to set the ambience, create the atmosphere here, because we hope it's not just, but that it's not only the transfer of information about K or about the programs or about what we're doing, but also that we somehow, while we're here and while we're partaking in this, somehow looking at these questions as they, in ourselves, as they arise. So, in order to create this ambience, we've asked Karolina Rojahn. She is a pianist from Los Angeles, and she will play 2 pieces of Bach and 1 piece of Chopin. Thank you, Karolina. Yeah, so again, welcome, and my name is Jaap Sluijter. I'm the Executive Director of the KFA. This all is recorded. Many of you are here in the room, but there's also about a few hundred people watching online. And we are here on a beautiful campus of the Oak Grove School in Ojai, and which is extremely conducive to having this kind of exploration. Just want to share some details, just for you to know that the people who are organizing this whole event are not just functionaries. All of them have a serious interest in all this, in exploring Krishnamurti's work and the implications for the teachings, and so this whole event is put together not only just from a functional point of view, which is, I think, really done with so much love and care of many of the staff and everybody, but also thinking about how we can create for these 2 days, with all of you being here in the room or being online, 2 days of reflection and looking at questions and exploring together. So that's the starting point, I feel. And of course, none of us, and maybe that's also a kind of disclaimer, none of us pretends that we know or that we are the authority about Krishnamurti's work. You know, it's like we're all like you. We read a book, we explore, we discuss, we get confused, we understand, we feel enthusiastic, and that's our journey for all of us. So none of us here will make the assertion that we can tell you what Krishnamurti said, but we do want to be with you in exploring this. You know, for myself and also for my colleagues, I know we really love this kind of exploration, and we feel it's not only love and we like, because those are very relative words, but it's more than that. It's like what is required for humanity or the world to move forward. Some difference need to be made, and we have to figure out for us here what is it taking? What will it take to make this change? What will bring about this change in us? Of course, the theme of this weekend is what are you looking for? And of course, you can more or less eliminate. It's not the obvious, right? It's not, okay, I just want more money, or I want more pleasure, or I want more what have you, which I also cannot deny, right? I mean, it would be ridiculous to put some kind of morality on top of who we are. I mean, we are pleasure-seeking creatures, and so to somehow not take that really upfront into consideration, it creates its own issues, because then we're not really frank with each other. But what if you start to look at the question, what are you looking for? What is there more on the deeper levels of ourselves? You know, what am I longing for from a deeper place, right? And of course, how can you look at that question also without romantic notions, right? I mean, of course, I can say I want to be close to God, you know. So that's probably an idea, and I'm going to strive for that. Not that I am criticizing that idea, but I'm just saying, is it possible to look at that without the concepts or ideas that we have about it? So what are we looking for, and can we somehow get in contact with that, right? I mean, for myself, I know, is there something like the deep notion that I had as a child, or something like the sense of union with nature, or the sense of union with being present, that kind of the kind of state. It's a kind of like a longing maybe for a state, but I'm guessing everybody has to answer this question for themselves. And of course, we're looking at that here from the perspectives of Krishnamurti's teachings. But we set the title a while ago, and then, of course, the big war in Ukraine came in Europe. And I'm from Europe, I'm from the Netherlands, and like many people, for many people who are from Europe, they are the war is I mean, for my family, the war is very close by, right? Because your parents talk about it, your family talks about it. It's all the way present, and the liberation that was there at the end of in 1945. Today is this week was May the 5th, which was the time the Netherlands, where I'm from, was liberated by the Americans, actually. So I know, from all these stories, I have assimilated quite a bit of these memories. And you can only think about what's happening there at this very moment. So the war is close by. I feel more close by in my daily life than it ever was. So and then the big question is now, how is this work of Krishnamurti, or what are we trying to do here, how is that related? Are they really separate things, right? Is the war or any conflict, is it really a construction of particular circumstances, a particular situation in Russia, a particular situation in Ukraine? Are those the root causes of what's happening to war? Or do we have to look at the root causes more at the fundamental level, or the deeper level, which is somehow seated in each of us, on how we are constituted, or how our thinking and our thoughts are working? So what I hope is that during these 2 days we can explore that. Also not from a romantic or from a religion based, I can say, I am the cause of war or something, which is, as a Christian would be, if you would be a Christian, would be a very common thing to say, we're all sinners. But not to go from that perspective, right? Because I think somehow if you take that perspective, then you somehow don't face what we actually are. And so can we actually, in these 2 days, but also not only these 2 days, I hope, can we somehow look at what is that in me that's as much the seed of war as that in all of us, and not just from a personal point of view, like what is wrong with me, but also from what am I as part of humanity? What is happening in me? What is happening in all of us, which is somehow bringing this perpetuate conflict about in humanity? Because it's very difficult to get hold of that in times of peace, right? I mean, we're here in one of the most beautiful places on earth, which is extremely peaceful. I mean, I never lock my doors at my house. I mean, I'm just saying, so from that perspective, it's really difficult to get hold of what is it in me that is contributing to that, or what is the blueprint in me that is somehow contributing to this. So I hope that we can, somehow make that dive, or somehow be in a space where we can see the subtleties or the depth of who we are, and in that come into some kind of insight about it, right? Because I think that's what Krishnamurti was talking about, that there is a potentiality of insight into this whole mechanism. So what I'm hoping, and what we have set out to bring about here, is to get into what we call the art of question, or what Krishnamurti called the art of questioning. Can you, with each other, but also with yourself, but with each other, can you explore these kind of questions and bring out things that you haven't looked at before, without stepping into a particular framework or in a particular assumptions or a particular bias? And can you uproot all that? And can you look at that? Can you face who you are? And can we develop together? Because I think that is really why I feel these kind of places are important. Can you really do that with other people? Can you think together, or can you look together, and can you explore together in a way that really goes deeper than this is wrong and that is right, but really, so who am I? Who am I as what kind of animal am I, right? That's really that aspect. I have to do a few more things. So today we have a program put together today and tomorrow. We have various presenters for you, various people on various topics. There will be a presentation about the school. There will be a poetry tomorrow. There will be classical music. And there will be also lots of space for all of you just to wander outside. I mean, this space is, the campus here is full of little corners and places where you can sit and where you can explore. And just to know, I mean, just to keep you informed about, this is the Krishnamurti Foundation. The Krishnamurti Foundation has a center in Ojai, which is on the other side of this town, and of course the Krishnamurti Foundation has the Oak Grove School, which is where we are now. And I noticed that although many of you will have seen our communication, but you might not know, we also have a retreat center at the other side of campus, which is specifically dedicated for people who would like to come for a few days to explore these kind of topics. So we start with, how did it come about? Of course, when we made the shift to realizing that for most of us, what's on our mind is the war and wars, right? I mean, as I said, in 1945, May 5th, the Netherlands was liberated from that particular war, but not from war, right? I mean, war is, we've never been liberated from war. So, we wanted to really put that front and center, the exploration about that, especially also the more deeper aspects of that. So we invited Mark Habib, who has been speaking several years ago also about conflict, and he teaches at the university in Virginia, Georgetown, sorry, and about war and conflict, and he mediates, and he's involved in many of these programs, which he will speak more about himself. And so he's going to speak maybe for 30 minutes, and then we will have a question and answer here, where Corey and myself will ask questions about his talk. And then we'll take questions from the audience. There will be a microphone standing here where you can come, and also questions from the online audience. So that you can even type it into your mobile phone if you want. That brings me to, if you have not muted your sound on your phone, please. Thank you very much, and I would like to ask Mark to come to the front and get it going. Thank you, Mark.